Time for the ride home in ENC. This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, TGIF Friday, we made it. Pirates do indeed win, and that's why we're here today. It's to get you to the Memorial Day weekend edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. Mike Mullis will be with us in a matter of minutes, and we're also scheduled to be joined by TV12 Luke Schwartz. Schwartz with Sports will be with us. Got a lot of local teams in the ARE playing tonight to advance in the playoffs or to advance to the state championships, and that is happening around ENC tonight. So we'll do that. Congrats to D.H. Conley, who did get the victory in softball yesterday. They've kind of overachieved, and so Conley is headed back to the 4A state championship series next weekend at either Duke or they'll be playing at UNCG. Those are the facilities that now host the softball championships. Mully and I will be calling the games from the Ting next weekend for the baseball championship, so we'll see who's involved in that. Perquimans, we know, got there, if you want to count them as a team in the East, which we do, obviously in the northeastern part of the state, a true Eastern team. And then you've got Rose playing for that opportunity tonight after getting banged pretty good last night by the Terry Sanford Bulldogs. So we'll see if the Rampants bounce back tonight. It's done a little bit of adjusting with the schedule for the Yard Gnomes as they will move their game up, which is being classified as an exhibition game, but it's going to move up today, and then the Rose game will immediately follow. All right, let's say hello to Philip the Ref Pilkington before we get some audio and Mike Mullis. Oh, yeah, one of the worst. Just what a day. As if things couldn't get any worse on today. There you go. That's got to be a cardboard cutout because that guy's never been here past noon on a Friday. It's amazing he's here past 10 on a Friday. So the only thing worse than seeing that right now, Pilk, was seeing when I got up this morning. When I got there, I popped by last night, and I mean, I couldn't believe this. There was you, there was Igo, and there were two other guys, and you all were in your boxer shorts watching the baseball game. What was that about? One guy, I think, had tighty whities on. What was that about?
Okay, so
why were you guys sitting around
in golf pants?
Why were you guys?
I was wearing khaki golf shorts.
Why were you guys sitting around in your underwear watching the baseball game last night? What was that about? In your underwear? I thought they only did that at. I thought they did that at the campus radio. I didn't think they did that here at professional radio.
There is video evidence that we were fully clothed.
I don't think so. I think you guys were sitting around in your underwear giggling at the game is what it looked like to me.
Dude, I was wearing golf shorts.
How did you get out of concert on the Common?
I still had to go. I had to go help
You're
tear
a slippery sort, aren't you?
Well, I originally we thought Jim Taunton was going to have his show, which would have not allowed us to do any of that. But he ran a recording last week because he wanted to watch the ECU.
Taunton's a huge baseball fan.
Pirate. So there was that, and then I had already asked Dylan, could I just show up for Teardown? And he goes, yeah, me, Mark and myself and Brad Durrett, and then obviously Big Hen was there, and they did all the ticket handing out and all the grunt work. And he goes, if you show up and drive the company vehicle and tear down and unload it, you can stay for as much of the watch along as you can. So I stayed for as much of the watch along as I could. We hung out, had some pizza from Basil's, and we had a great time.
Are they doing this deal tomorrow and the rest of the weekend where the guys sit around in their tidy whities and watch the game?
I haven't been informed of it. If they do, they're going to have to set it up themselves. They're more than welcome to come in and use the studios as long as they text Hank and get it approved. I will be in Charlotte.
That's right. No wonder we're getting a half effort from you today. Your mind's already in Charlotte to go to the race.
Yeah, buddy, it is.
Yeah. So that'll explain the half effort we'll get from Pilkington for the rest of the show today. All right. All I know is I saw a guy, that one particular guy. He looked like he was in tidy whities. That's all I can vouch for.
Taking shots at go like that.
No, one night ago. All right. So let's go to some cuts. Pirates win. I was able to physically. I listened to a lot of the game. I was able to eyeball the last out. Got a little hairy there in the ninth. Bottom of. Charlotte pushed across a couple of runs, and they stuck with Jake Hunter. Live by Jake Hunter, die by Jake Hunter, I suppose. And boy, what a sweet pitch he threw. Talk about movement on a pitch to get the strikeout. Did you see that, or had you already left to go for the concert breakdown?
I had left, but Big Hen had it on his phone at the concert. So
there you go. There you go. Now you're telling tales outside of school. Big Hen was supposed to be pumping up Woolard. All right.
He was until the last batter or two.
All right. Cliff Godwin, who became the all-time wins leader last night at ECU. All right, he talked about the great job done by the Pirate pitching staff.
That's the way we drew it up. I'm just kidding. Brad Pruitt was awesome. You know, he had a couple freebies, but then he just was able to, get out of innings and stuff. And, we went to Jake in the eighth, and he was awesome. And then, of course, they got a couple hits there tonight, make it interesting. But just proud of our guys.
And he talked about how the offense has been much improved during these 2 days in Clearwater.
They've done a good job. They've been keeping the chain connected and showing together a lot of tough at-bats, and just proud of them, like I said.
Cliff Godwin will elaborate on this, on the importance of a 2-0 start in Clearwater, Florida.
And, with this team and just the way our team is, we need a day off, Coach O. We knew that was important. I mean, with Riley Johnson being the way he is, and Norby having to come out with a little tender forearm, and Ethan Young with a blister. I mean, just a lot of things that we could use a day off, and so we're super happy about that.
There were two great catches. One, I think, was against the wall. One was laying out. And then Riley Johnson almost made another fantastic catch in the ninth. So things got he definitely, by having these 2 days off in the week, I think is a big thing for him. Obviously, it helps a little bit with the pitching. Pilk, I read into that as well that you're looking at when he said Norby forearm tightness or tenderness, whatever the term was. We could see Ethan Norby again before the weekend is up.
Yeah, I think the mindset is you hope that you win it comfortably tomorrow and you have him Sunday. I think it'd be 4 days of rest. It'd be a Major League Baseball, normal rest between starts. And, he did keep it in the 70 pitch range. So I think there's an opportunity to see him Sunday. I mean, I don't think they would shy away from going to him tomorrow. But.
Yeah. What is it, an hour for every pitch? So, I mean, that's 3 days there.
Yeah.
And if he's able to get that fourth day, yeah, I think that's a real positive thing. You could bring him back for Sunday. All right. Cliff Godwin winning the 428th game as the Pirate head coach, which makes him the all-time wins leader. And he was being interviewed by Coach O about that.
Well, Coach O, thanks for taking a chance on me back in spring of 1996, because if you hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't be here today, and I appreciate that.
Pretty good stuff there. Cliff, in his postgame remarks, also talked about the legendary James Rabbit Fulgham, who sent him to East Carolina. Partnership with Coach O and friendship with Coach O got that done. And, man, what a road it's been. All right, John Collins, Big John, talked about hitting a home run on an 0-2 count.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous, to be honest. I was like, oh, man, this could be a bad at-bat. But luckily he threw me a cookie.
And Big John says that the Pirates right now are playing like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're playing like we have nothing to lose. We just want to keep playing, extend the season, and we really believe in our chances and ourselves and everything, yeah.
In the post-game press conference, Pilk, he brought up the big league batter's eye. And he says that's why he has had a better success on two-strike approach. That's kind of fascinating, isn't it? That he's crediting the park that they're playing in with the big league batter's eye, because that's used for the Phillies minor league. That seems kind of crazy, but I guess it makes sense.
I think that was a marketing tool to say, "Hey, baby, please draft me." Say I can play in a big league ballpark all the time. I'll swing like this every game. Give me a contract. I want to keep playing some baseball. Big John Collins, gotta love it.
So UTSA was outslugged by Tulane 10-6. So the Green Wave and the Pirates, who, Bill, help me remember this. The Pirates were run-ruled by Tulane in the Friday game, came back Saturday and run-ruled the Pirates, and then were they just defeated in the third? I did the game. You'd think I would remember this, but I have no recall whatsoever. Let's see if we could find that game.
The tough thing is I think that was the week I was,
Bill.
that was the week that I was in Charlotte for a graduation. So
yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-1. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that now. So that it really wasn't so much of the what would you say, the beat down, a beat down. Maybe it was 6-2 because it looked like the Pirates scored one in the ninth. An inconsequential run. But I remember Mike saying in some ways that was more dominant than the run rule game. The way Tulane handled them on that Sunday. So we'll see. We will see how it goes. I don't know the Tulane pitching situation, but obviously Tulane's in the same boat ECU's in. They've been able to kind of set their pitching. They have the rest between games, that sort of thing. And look, beating UTSA, who was not great away from home. They were good, but they were not, outstanding. That's still a big deal. Still not a bad thing. So good stuff there. All right. Pilk, your Carolina Hurricanes hammered last night. Down 0-2. It is over. No shot in coming back in this thing.
No, they don't even look like they belong.
No, they don't. It's like I don't know what it is. It's like a suffocation when you play this Florida team. Are they that physical that they just, or is it more of a style thing? I just don't understand it. Is it just a bad matchup with the style?
Nah, I think they're built for the playoffs, and built for the playoffs does mean you're physical. You don't allow your opponents to play extremely fast and get out in transition, as well as you just make their bodies start to ache and hurt throughout the series. And picking up Brad Marchand at the deadline did nothing but add to that physicality. Obviously, he's been known to have little man syndrome throughout his career, and Paul Maurice just knows how to coach in the playoffs. Obviously, he was the Canes coach in the late '90s, so it's good to see him have success. But they're just kind of mean. Like, they're not dirty, but they're just kind of mean, and it just
rugged,
takes its toll on you. Yeah.
So Rod Brindamore says they have to have belief to get back in the series.
We got to just figure out how to win a period. I think we came out with the right intentions, but it was trying to do too much.
Game 3 is set for just outside of Miami Saturday night. Again, that is over. Pilk's excited because he goes to the Coca-Cola 600, which is my favorite race of the year at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It's your favorite race because it happens after your bedtime, and you don't have to have me ask, did you watch it? Because the answer is obviously no. Because
no, I'll watch a little bit of that because it starts early enough before.
Yeah,
I like the transition over from the late afternoon hours to the night because the track changes.
It does. It definitely is the most. I think the crew chiefs have an influence on the race all year. They have to be. You have to be proactive in your changing of the car. If you're reactive, you're going to be in trouble.
Anybody trying to pull the double this year?
Kyle Larson.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Starting 21st at Indy this week, so not a great qualifying run. Started 5th at Indy last year, and obviously don't know what he's starting in the Coke 600. Won't know that till mid-afternoon Saturday. But
I like the double. I like when somebody tries the double.
I do too. I wish somebody would try it every year. Only one guy has ever 100% done it. Back in, was it 01? Maybe it was 99. I don't know. Anyways, I was very young, so I don't remember it. Tony Stewart is the only guy to ever complete all 1,100 miles.
Yeah,
a lot of guys have come close. I think Kurt Busch finished 4 or 5 laps down one year. He finished both races, just not in its entirety.
But he didn't get the full laps in. Yeah. I am. So I will always do this on Sunday. I'll post my picks for Monte Carlo. You didn't know I knew that, did you? Indy,
you did, yeah. I know you did.
And the 600. I always on. So look forward to that on the social medias. I will post my. Will you post your picks for the 3 races?
Yeah, I'll comment on yours and give you my picks.
Okay. Do we have any other gearheads that could pick on this? Any of the guys from the underwear session last night?
A couple guys from the underwear session last night. Yes, those are some IGO's interns or former interns. Those guys would do it. So those guys are going to the 600.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
They know they have to wear pants, don't they, to this, or at least shorts, right?
I've seen some cutoff shorts at the 600 that do not quite qualify as pants.
Well, those are probably better looking on that person than.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
There's some frat boys, I guess, that don't look too bad in it. But
what?
No, I'm talking about men that do it. We know there's cut off women's shorts, but no, I've seen some cowboy boots and cut off. Man, you see some redneck
on guys?
Stuff? Yeah.
And they make it out of the track alive?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, it is the unofficial kickoff of summer. What is this?
It's the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. Oh, Jesus.
All right. Summertime music.
Yeah, this is not what I meant.
Want
all
DJ
right,
Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince singing
there you go.
All right, we'll do that next segment.
Who knows? All right, Mike Mullis slated to join us. We'll talk about the local baseball scene, but also the Pirates coming up.
Beep, beep. Move over, Buttercup. We're back to the show.
They're back. And I love them.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Summer kickoff, the unofficial kickoff of summer right now. And we thank you for being with us this afternoon. Pirate baseball 2-0 in Clearwater. Here to talk about it is Mike Mullis, baseball analyst for ESPN Plus, and covers the Pirates, also college baseball analyst. All right, Mully. So here we are. We got some Clearwater magic happening for ECU. What is the difference in this and then the 50-some-odd other games they played?
Listen, I think the game one performance is pretty much in line with what we've seen most of the year, be it a Thursday start or a Friday start by Norby, and then Young coming in and doing his thing. So, I think that part kind of holds serve. Hey, then you get a day off. That's a big difference, right? Instead of turning and having to go right into the next day, they had a day off, came out and played pretty well yesterday. Got a little bit maybe precarious there at the end with Jake Hunter, but he hangs on to preserve the win for the Pirates, and that I think it's the fun out and, changes a lot of things for a lot of people. Some teams it affects positively, others negatively, and this team, at least to this point, appears to be responding.
This is Mike Mullis on the phone with us here. Yeah, the Norby thing seems like a big deal. 70-some-odd pitches for him on Tuesday. Left the game with a little tightness in the forearm, or tenderness, as Cliff put it, but he left the game, and the Pirates are able to get the win after the fast start. If East Carolina is able to win tomorrow and get right into Sunday without too much heartburn, do you come back with Norby maybe on Sunday?
I mean, obviously, I think it's all dependent upon his health and where he's at, and excuse me, what has to be taxed to get to that point. They're at the point now from a bullpen standpoint where, it's going to be mix and match. Not that it hasn't been that a lot anyway, but, you still have a couple guys capable and that have started. You just got to hold serve again, to use that term. You got to keep winning and stay out of the losers bracket, because I just think that's when, it becomes even more difficult for anybody, but much less for a pitching staff that's taxed like this one is. So, I think there's a chance you'll see the movie again. Forearm tightness is not the scariest thing in the world, but certainly you don't want him to injure himself for the long term of his career,
right?
For a singular outing.
We're talking ball with Mike Mullis, ESPN Plus college baseball analyst, also ACC Network Extra, and Mully and I will be at the Ting coming up next Friday and Saturday for the NFHS network. High cotton there. But any time spent with Mully watching a ball game is quality time. Hey, Mike, before we get into the matchup, a couple of things. Obviously, Riley Johnson, and you talk of days off. These days off are beneficial for him. Makes two great catches, came just inches shy of a hat trick on fabulous catches in the ninth inning of the game yesterday, in which the Pirates were able to hang on and win. But Riley Johnson, again, didn't see him in two of the games that the Pirates lost against South Florida. The Thursday game he played, but left that game early, if I recall, because ECU had such kind of a dominant grip on the game. So I think Riley Johnson, varying degree of whatever health is, I just think he in the lineup makes this such a different team.
Oh, yeah, listen, the way he continues to sell out the balls, and, as beat up as he's been, he continues to do what he's always done, and it's impressive to watch him, man. He is so much fun to watch play the game, and he just goes about it the right way, and it's all blood and guts, and but I don't think anybody, it's not even that I don't think, I think we can all agree that the time off has benefited him more than probably anybody else, maybe in all of college baseball. But his ability to be in the lineup at whatever percentage of healthy is relative to him, and the effectiveness he has at that relative health, you're right, man, it is a huge deal for this lineup. And, again, another big reason. I don't know, and I'm sure at this time of the year he'll go back-to-back days, and he'll go double-header if he has to, but it sure would be nice to see what the Pirates can do with him at, again, relative full strength.
Yeah, and even tomorrow is very important. If you could just somehow win that game tomorrow and just put yourself in a one-off situation where you've got the rest, you've got sort of the full arsenal at your disposal, that's just such a big deal. Yesterday, Brad Pruitt comes in and is pretty darn special. Comes in, no hits, the Niners for 5 innings. Niners, by the way, had won 10 in a row coming in. Now, the walk numbers at 3, that may be a little concerning, but he ends up striking out 4, but had a heck of a performance. Pirates have gotten some good bullpen outings. Moran is another one that gave him a good showing at South Florida the weekend prior. So is that the strength right now of the Pirates, the pitching out of the pen?
It's awfully scary after what we've seen all year to call it the strength. I think what we're seeing is maybe it has stabilized to a point. And these guys have gone out and done their job. So, it's been a scary proposition all year outside of a handful of guys when the Pirates have had to go to the pen. And again, we've said it over and over again. It's been very well documented. It's not the stuff. It's the free passes that have been a problem. And as you alluded to, Pruitt able to pitch around that the handful from yesterday, but. PJ, I don't know. Maybe this is a bad answer, but the only one that comes to mind is it's probably a strength until it becomes a weakness. And, that's kind of Captain Obvious. But I think all fans know what I'm talking about, that have followed the Pirates closely at all, that, it can be really, really good, but when it has gone south, it has been catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the offensive stars of this has been Big John Collins. What do you think's flipped for him?
Yeah, I don't know that a whole lot has changed. I think he banged balls pretty good all year, PJ. Even his outs have been relatively loud outs, and he had that little run there where I remember, I don't know, it was probably I'm going to go like game 10, maybe a little before, a little after, where they kind of kept using it in pitch hit rolls, and every time he came in, it was a home run or a ball that was smoked. And at one point, I think he was like 4 for 4 batting 1,000 with, 2 home runs or whatever, ridiculous numbers. So, I think it's been one of those things. He's just stayed the course, been able to get in the lineup with a lot more regularity, and it's proven to pay dividends. And, man, baseball's such a game of rhythm. You want the one of the hardest things to do, in my opinion, in all of sports, is come off the bench in the ninth inning when there's some pressure on you in a matchup situation in an effort to get a hit. It's just very, very difficult mentally, physically, all together. So I think by John seeing extended playing time, it's benefited him, and we're seeing that, the benefits play out kind of right in front of us.
Mike Mullis on the phone with us here, Patrick Johnson Show. Mully, let me ask you a little bit about a couple of other things. I want to get a couple questions in on sort of the local scene, but let's talk about Dixon Williams. Did not make either the first or second team all conference. Kind of interesting. The second baseman for UTSA was the second team guy. You saw him. Rasmussen was the first team guy. Obviously had a good year for Tulane. Did Dixon, who was the preseason player of the year, get snubbed?
Yeah, I think it's almost that in the question is the answer. When it becomes that big of a part of the story, no different than if a team that has a really good resume but doesn't make the postseason. I feel like Dixon did not get, what he deserves in that situation. I know that Dixon's probably thought about it, but it was probably a fleeting thought, and did it necessarily bother him? I don't know. I don't think Dixon is that guy. I think he plays the game for the love of the game, and the game's going to take him lots of places and already has. But, I personally think it was a snub. Yeah, I didn't really understand it. But, it's just one of those things when you have personalities voting on and for personalities, somebody's going to be left out.
Yeah. Local scene, Mike, I know a tough loss for Conley. Full disclosure, Mike works with the staff there. Rose playing later on this evening after getting thumped by Terry Sanford yesterday in Fayetteville for a chance to go to what would be their 10th state championship series, which would be a pretty remarkable thing to accomplish. So how do you see that shaking out with the Rampants? I recall DHC played Terry Sanford this year. I would think pitching may be at a bit of a premium for a Game 3 scenario with no rest between 2 and 3 tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of everything this time of the year in postseason baseball is who's got pitching left. And those two teams are very similar offensively. Again, just a lot of similarities between the clubs. I think Terry Sanford may be just a scooch deeper on the mound, but not so much that Rose certainly can't overcome it. So, Rose played really good the first game and got the win, and Terry Sanford's the kind of team that's very, very emotional, and it's kind of, you kind of feel like you're in a little bit of a street fight with them from the standpoint of if you don't get out ahead of them early and they build a little momentum, they start getting, some confidence, and it really drives their club. But, at Conley, we had a pretty good outing against them, and were able to get up, get ahead early and put them away. And I think that's a lot what Rose has to do. If you look back at Game 1, Rose manages to put up, I think it was 4 or 5 runs. Don't remember exactly. All these playoff games kind of start running together, but they did just what I'm describing. They got out to a lead, made Terry Sanford chase, and it was the recipe for success.
Mully, Conley's volleyball softball team goes to the state championship. Volleyball's been there a time or 3, but softball gets there. Good team this year. Maybe have overachieved a little, but it's got to be exciting for the school.
Yeah, no, really exciting. They work at it, and talking to Coach Deans, he feels like, hey, look, to kind of play with house money, and they adopted the mantra that they just wanted one more practice, and that's kind of been their driving force. But yeah, played great last night. And they've honestly had some success against pitchers that they didn't know exactly how they would fare against. And so, a young club, they're fun to watch, and they are super excited about where the road takes them. And yeah, congratulations to both those teams on great runs.
And then Perquimans baseball's already advanced. I'm stretching your knowledge by having you look into what is going on up there with Perquimans in the 1A. But, boy, it seems like they are year in and year out one of the teams, and they'll take on teams up in classification. I mean, it just seems like that's a program that is always kind of in it and puts out kids to the next level, too.
Yeah, so we also played Perquimans, as did Rose. And to your point, they're kind of a take all comers kind of deal. You know, when the Thatch kid that's at Wilmington now, his younger brother's on this team, and not quite the prospect that Tanner is, but a good player in his own right. And yeah, I mean, solid baseball team and a great program. They like you said, they are not afraid. It's kind of you know, when you got to love the kind of underdog that says, hey, we'll play anybody anywhere, and then actually goes out and does it. It's one thing to pound your chest. It's another thing to put your money where your mouth is, and they certainly have done that. So, yeah, you know, and that's why you play better competition is, you know, it pays off this time of the year.
Absolutely. Mike Mullis. All right, Mully, Tulane handles ECU in kind of shocking fashion. That was the game maybe where they scored a bunch of runs in the first inning on that Friday night. I mean, just absolutely kind of dominated ECU. And then, they scored 9 runs in the first on that Friday night game. Pirates came back and run-ruled the Green Wave the next day. In a game that was a little more slugfesty, but the Pirates extended through the middle and late innings. And then I remember you saying this as I was going back and revisiting it before we went on. It ended up being 6-2, but it was not even that close. In some ways, what Tulane did to ECU that Sunday was a little more dominant than the shock and awe of the 9-run first. So when you look at the matchup tomorrow, you can throw everything out the window, of course, from what happened earlier in the season. But how do you see things going tomorrow, middle of the day, between the Pirates and Green Wave?
You know, I mean, it just feels like all Tulane does in Clearwater is win games and win conference tournament championships. But, you know, I think kind of as we talked about earlier in the segment that, you know, this East Carolina team's playing a little differently. I think that, again, the schedule has certainly been in their favor. You know, in answer to your question, how does it go? I think it goes as well as the bullpen will take it. I think that's going to be a big part. I'll be interested to see who Coach Godwin goes with as the starter. But, you know, I think honestly, PJ, I feel like it should be a really competitive game. And I don't think we'll know who the winner is. I think that'll start to be decided somewhere around the 7th inning. I think it's going to be a later developing game that you know will kind of be that again the back end of the bullpen who will be able to stand that test will be the team that comes out on top.
The great Mike Mullis. Mike, I hope you have a wonderful and safe extended holiday weekend, and looking forward to seeing you again next weekend. And I know you'll be looking forward to seeing how the Pirates play coming tomorrow and for the rest of the event in Clearwater. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. I'll talk to you very soon.
There he is, the great Mike Mullis with us. All right, Philip, the ref Pilkington. Gentlemen, start your engine. What do you think of Hegseth? Hegseth's going to be the Grand Marshal in Charlotte Pilk. What do you think of this?
I like it.
You can't wait, can you? This is like
all of. I just found out earlier this morning William Byron just got a big-time contract extension through 2029. It's already a great race weekend. Is
this why you wore that goofy hat?
I was going to wear it. I had it on before the contract extension got announced.
Okay. All right. Is Luke with us, or we're going to get Luke in a minute here? I guess we're going to get Luke in a minute. Do we take a break and do the update, or do we do the update now, Pilk? What do we do? I need a little guidance from the producer of this.
Let's take a break and do a standalone update because we're moving pretty good through this show.
All right. Well, we're not moving good enough. All right. I'm kidding. It's a Bazooka Friday. There ain't anybody around in the building except Buscemi, which made no sense. All right. Talk of the Town. No, not Talk of the Town. The Patrick Johnson Show. Thank God we're not on Talk of the Town. I'm actually getting to talk. So we're clearly not on Talk of the Town. because I don't get a word in edgewise normally. All right, back with more of the show, Pilk and Update, and then we'll finish off the day with Luke Schwartz.
And now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
Wrapping up the week, we've got Pirate Baseball tomorrow. What, around noonish, Pilk?
Yeah, probably
1.
closer to 1.
I think probably 1. Yeah, closer to 1. 94.3 The Game will have it for you. Pilk, if you're going to Charlotte, who's producing said event tomorrow?
Isaac's got the first game. Dom's got game 2 if need be, and Dom's got Sunday.
Bringing in the big gun, Kasulki.
Yep.
Who would you rather play, Pilk?
I'd rather play South Florida. I think Charlotte is not phenomenal on the mound, but I think they've got about 9 guys. So they're just deep. There's not much fall off from 2 to 9.
Would you agree with me that it is difficult to beat a team twice in the same day?
It's only ever happened one time in the American Athletic Conference Tournament. The team that did it, the East Carolina Pirates.
Oh, there you go. All right. We are going to talk about the local sports scene. There's a lot of things going on. There's been an adjustment, obviously, with the Yard Gnome schedule and their exhibition opening game. And then, obviously, we've got Rose playing tonight. South Lenore's playing in a winner-take-all scenario tonight. I swear to you, even though he's joining us by phone, Luke Schwartz from Channel 12, Schwartz on Sports. Did I get it right, Luke? Anyway, Luke has a tie on. I swear to you he does right now, because Luke is never seen anywhere in America without a tie on. And even though he's with us on the phone, he has one on right now. Luke, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, and you were 100% right. I do have my tie on. I had the whole setup and everything ready to go in my room, and didn't work out, but I was dressed and ready for the occasion.
Dressed to the nines to be on the Patrick Johnson Show. All right, so we have some local teams that have already advanced to the championship level of their respective high school tournaments. So you could give us the rundown on that for anybody who's missed it. And then we have a couple winner-take-all scenarios tonight and tomorrow night. So regale us of what's going on with the local scene here, Schwartz. We'll start with baseball and softball, but give us the whole 9 in the East. Everything from the lacrosse, which there's a big game in Greenville tonight, and all of that. Just lay the whole thing on us, Schwartz.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, softball, we have 2 teams that have punched their ticket to the state championship game. D.H. Conley last night, a huge win over Cleveland, and they had 4 D1 commits. So pretty impressive for Wayne Dean's crew, winning 6-2. A really young squad who came up clutch and has just been nails throughout the postseason. And they're going to take on South Caldwell in either Greensboro or Durham next week, and that's going to be a really good game. And then the night before, North Lenore, for the first time in 20 years, made their first state championship appearance, and a great story over there for a lot of those players who, over the last, I think it's been 17 years since they've made it past the first round, so this is kind of their dream team. The Hawks are soaring, and excited for them to take on West Wilkes as well. We're still waiting to figure out if they're going to be in Durham or Greensboro. And then, like you said, in baseball, kind of crazy, J.H. Rose didn't win last night at Terry Sanford, so Rose is back at home. And as you mentioned before, Patrick, kind of a weird scenario. The Greenville Yard Gnomes have their exhibition game today, so J.H. Rose has been pushed back to 7 o'clock since the Yard Gnomes are playing at 4. So kind of a funky deal that the high school, almost who's going to a state championship, has to wait for a summer college bat league game to wrap up an exhibition match. So that's super
crazy.
Interesting. I'm sure. Yeah, I haven't heard of that before. And then South Lenore, unreal win on the road at Midway last night. They led 8-1 at one point, and then the Raiders came back and forced it to extras, but South Lenore got the win 9-8. So that's going to be a Game 3 and deep run. But on Saturday at 7:30, and the reason why it's so late is because the sun sets right over center field in Deep Run in that part of North Carolina. So if you're a batter and you're looking at the batter's eye, you're just blinded every single time. So that's why they have that game pushed back so far. But we have 2 teams in, 2 teams looking to make it. And then like you said, in lacrosse, J.H. Rose, the 1-seed girls, are hosting 5-seed Swansboro tonight at 5:30. And Coach Selly, I always get it wrong. She's looking forward to that. We also have 2 teams down in Newport, Croatan, men's and women's lacrosse, trying to make it to back-to-back Final Fours. So we'll see if the Cougars, who both host Union Pines. And then in girls soccer, can't forget them. Dixon won last night, and they are heading to an East Regional final, and same with the Lejeune Devil Pups. So we've got a lot of teams making waves and trying to make state championships, East Regional finals appearances. So a lot of good things going on ENC-wise.
I'm very happy for Lejeune. Obviously it's a base school, but they have not had a ton of athletic success in the last couple of decades. And I think it's exciting that they've got a team that's made this deep a run into the playoffs with girls soccer. I think that's just an absolutely cool thing. Jacksonville, unfortunately, got knocked off last night. And I know Perquimans is not in your area necessarily, but they've already got a situation where I think their softball got there, and they'll find out tonight if their baseball team will get there. So it could be exciting. Could go to a game 3. We'll see. All right, great stuff here with Luke Schwartz. Also, young Luke. And by the way, that's going to be exciting. Kind of a night game on a Saturday night in Deep Run. Boy, talk about kind of excitement. That's a big deal for the people in Lenoir County. Also, going on tomorrow in Kinston has been, and I was looking at some of the numbers last night. The Bird Dogs, Luke, are averaging over 2,000 a game for their first half a dozen home games, and that includes the weekday game from this past week. I think it's been a roaring success. I hope it'll continue to be a roaring success. And they've put 2 wins in a row together before they play tonight, so that in its own right is kind of exciting.
Yeah, I credit their whole staff and everybody down the line for making it a fun atmosphere. And say what you want about the Wood Ducks, but the Bird Dogs are here to stay. And I loved what they did with the third baseline to open that up as kind of like a picnic and chill area. And this team is full of guys who they know they want to get picked up for the next level, but all of their mindsets is, hey, let's have fun. Let's enjoy it while we're here. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's play some good baseball, but let's also just enjoy one another. And so catching up with a lot of the guys, especially Danny Beal, former ECU Pirate, has been great. And yeah, yesterday they put up 8 runs between the 7th and the 8th inning, and Emmanuel Tapia, back-to-back days, he's had a home run. Yesterday was a grand slam. So the Bird Dogs are picking up steam, and it's great that they have some great attendance too, because they certainly deserve it with the way they've been putting themselves together recently and all the planning and prep to go into this season.
This is kind of exciting for you, I have to imagine, because you'll be working this weekend, dressed Natalie attired, of course. And you've got the Bird Dogs in town. You get to keep an eye on what ECU does tomorrow against whoever they're going to play. And then, obviously, with the hope that the Pirates will get to Sunday, we've got NASCAR. Phillips all giddy because he's going to the Coke 600 and all that out in Charlotte. Had golf in Charlotte last weekend with a major. You've got the playoffs going on, and then you got the Yard Gnomes, for example, starting things. So there's not a lack of things to talk about in your. Who says that local sports? Oh, it doesn't matter to the people. No, somebody's got to keep up with all this. It's you, Schwartz. That's why people watch, because you keep up with all of it.
I try to do my best, and it doesn't matter if you're the smallest 1A school or the biggest 4A. We want to make sure we're covering you and getting the attention and the stories out there for people to see. And the numbers don't lie. It does well on Facebook. And, some people will say, like, nobody cares about that or nobody cares about sports, but somebody does. Somebody out there does, and so we want to make sure that nobody falls through the cracks and that everybody is highlighted and showcased the way they deserve. And so it's really fun to keep up with that and to get local highlights of things that somebody will come up to you and say, man, like, I'm so happy you covered him, or they deserve that. And so I'm so glad to see that they were recognized for their efforts. And so just keeps you fueled to keep going and keep doing what you do.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that local media companies have gotten so wrong is, well, the sports doesn't matter, local coverage of anything doesn't matter. It's absurd. I forgot too that not yours, Luke, necessarily, but your Carolina Hurricanes, because they're no longer mine. I'm off the bandwagon. Are down 0-2, so that's going on too Saturday night. Although that thing is completely over. All right, Luke. Well. And then you got Big Rock right around the corner. You got the state championships next weekend, which you'll have some teams there. And then you got the Big Rock. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's unreal. Our news director has already pulled me in the office, and he said, every single day I want you looking for stories for Big Rock, because it's a sport, it's a competition, but also it's news. And he said, if you even hear a lick about Michael Jordan being here, you go find him. And I said, I'm going to do my best.
Schwartz down at the docks waiting for MJ. All right, Luke, thank you very, very much. We know you'll be all over it this weekend. Drive safe out there going from place to place. Thank you for popping on with us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Patrick, Phillip, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me on. I apologize for my video technical difficulties, but y'all always roll with me, so thank you guys. You're the best.
We'll get you on next time, because he wore his best tie today. He told me he did. All right, big thanks to Luke Schwartz. Thanks to Mike Mullis. Thanks to you, Pilk. Enjoy the race yourself. Be safe headed out there. And a couple of things. My grandparents, 72nd anniversary today. Mr. PK and Norma Jean. My gosh, 72 years married and not one argument. All right, off Monday unless the Pirates win the whole thing, and then we'll have coverage of where they're going in the regional. Let's hope that's the case. Otherwise, we'll see you Tuesday. Have a safe holiday weekend.